Hey guys, this is Flamingo and welcome to my 2020 Beginner's Guide to Guild Wars 2. In this video I'm going to be looking at items and loot. This will involve me looking at different types of items you can get in Guild Wars 2, along with the item rarities, so you know which items are better than others, so you can make your character as powerful as possible, as well as looking at some other things like crafting materials, salvageable items and loot bags. I'll then be looking at the actual looting system, how that works, the basics, and then giving a couple of tips on how to make the looting system work a little bit better for you. So first of all, let's open up the inventory and have a look. So I've been around, I've killed a few enemies and done a couple of quests, and I've got an inventory full of items here. So I'm going to go through some of the types of items that you can expect to see. So first of all, you have loot bags. So for example, these are bags that you get. Quite often you'll get loot bags from personal story missions because you don't actually receive loot while doing personal story missions. And what you can do is you can double click to open them, and then there'll be some loot in it. So for example, if I double click that, that's opened it and it had a crafting material inside it. Some of the ones you get from personal story missions contain quite a lot of loot to make up for it, but these are ones that you find around and about as well. They're just containers. You can sell them on the trading post, those ones. Basically, you can sell them on the trading post and you might get a better price than what's inside it, but it depends. I think some people buy a lot of bags so they can open them with a chance of getting something a bit rarer. So crafting materials is something that you'll see a lot of. You can see that they come in different rarities, so the colour of the text on the name of the item indicates the rarity, and I'll go over those different rarities in a minute. As you can see, it says crafting material, tells you how many of those are in your material storage, and says what specific crafting professions they can be used for. Crafting materials are used, as you can imagine, in crafting, so creating armour and weapons and stuff, and I'll go into that in more detail in another video. But effectively they can also be sold on the trading post for a decent amount of money. So if you're just starting out in the game, I suppose you need to make a decision: do you want to store all your crafting materials in your bank and save those up, or do you want to sell those on the trading post to start getting a little bit of money going? I'll leave that up to you. Okay, so we've also got salvage items. So salvage items you'll pick up randomly throughout the world. They can be different rarities as well. This is the white one, so it's not going to give me anything too fancy, but you can also get more expensive ones later on in the game. Effectively, you can use any salvage kit to salvage this and receive some crafting materials. So salvage kits can be purchased from any merchant, and there's different levels of salvage kits as well. And the higher level of salvage kit, the more likely you are to get a rarer material. So to use a salvage kit, I would double click on it, and you can see all the items in red can't be salvaged, but things like armour, salvage items, weapons, they can be. So as you can see, I can use that to salvage crafting materials out of any armour and weapons, or salvage items. If I do that there, that's then done that, and I've got a gloss and a scrap there. I think most of the time, especially at a lower level, you're probably better off just selling your salvage items along with everything else, unless you're really trying to get some specific crafting materials, but as I said, that's completely up to you. So when it comes to item rarities, I'll show you here. I've got one of each. So it starts with the dark grey, as you can see the name there. This is called junk. It's just trash. It's got no worth. You can't sell it on the trading post. All it's worth is, like you see, it says there's 6 copper. And I can sell that to an NPC merchant. There's even, if you go up to a merchant, there's a button in the window when you interact with them, which is sell junk, which you can just sell all your junk at the same time, which is quicker than going through and selling each individual one. So after that, you get the basic, which is just a white writing, as you can see. This is basic rarity. This is when you're a low level. This is probably most of the items you'll pick up. You'll get a lot of these. The next one is the fine rarity, which is displayed in blue letters. You can see it does also say this on the item, just above where it says it's light armor. It's fine, and that's obviously slightly better. So for example, if you had a level 80 basic or a level 80 rare of the same thing, light head armor like I've got here, you'd expect that the rare one would be slightly better, the defense slightly higher, and the stat boost slightly higher than that. But then again, it doesn't always mean that it's going to be better for you, because the stats on the white one might be better for the particular build you're going for. So after that, you've got the Masterwork rarity, which is displayed in green. So contrary to some other games, bear in mind it goes blue then green in this game. Then after that, you've got rare, which is the yellow writing here, which this is, you'll start to, normally blues and greens you'll see a fair amount of. Yellows, as they're called, reds, you won't get those that often, but as you get to a higher level they'll start to become more common. Moving on from that, you have exotic, which is in orange writing. This is getting to the top tiers now, so you're less likely to see many of these unless you're doing sort of level 80 dungeons and raids and things like that, where you'd see a lot more of these. After that, you've got this pink writing here, which is Ascended. Ascended is very rare. This Ascended piece of armor I've had to craft myself, and cost quite a lot of gold to get all the bits to do it. So that, I mean, if you've only just started the game, it's probably going to be a little while until you see an Ascended things, but nothing to worry about. I just thought I'd show you the different rarities. There's one beyond that, which is Legendary, which is in purple, so in purple writing, but I actually don't have a Legendary, and if you're just started the game, I assume you haven't either, so you don't have to worry too much about it, and you're not going to find those about the place. It's a long old process to craft one of those Legendary weapons, so I wouldn't worry too much about that right now. Okay, so moving on from the items, I'm going to show you a little bit of just how the loot system works in this game. So obviously, once I kill an enemy, they'll drop loot like in any other RPG you played. So just an example, this one of course didn't drop anything, so let's just try it on this guy. Okay, there you go. So once an item's dropped loot, you can see that they're glowing up there, and then you can target it. Easiest way to do it is just to walk up to the corpse and press F to interact. Done that, and it's automatically looted it there. The reason why it's done that automatically for me, and I haven't had to, it hasn't brought up a window and I've clicked on it to loot the individual items, is one of the settings that I've changed on this character. So just to show you how to do this, because I think this is pretty useful, press escape or go to your game menu up there to bring up this menu. Go to options, and here in the general options there's a couple of things here, a couple of options here which affect it. So I've got AoE loot on interact and auto loot both ticked. So if I was to untick those, you could go up to a body to loot it, press F to interact, and you then have to choose individually the bits of loot that you wanted to pick up. So if you're a bit fussy and you don't want to pick up everything, you only want to pick up certain things like the rarer items, then that would be for you. But to be honest, there's vendors and everything everywhere, so to be honest, you never really get to a stage where you run out of inventory room. So I think picking everything up is quite normal. So that's the auto loot there. Then the AoE loot just means that if you've killed a few enemies in the same area, in close proximity to each other, they've all dropped loot, just go up to one of them, press F, and it will AoE loot all of them, which means it will loot all of the enemies in the area, so you only have to press it once. And then like you saw when I looted that enemy there, it comes up on the right hand side here to show you what you've actually looted, and if you want to have a closer look, just press I to go into your inventory, and then you can see that item there. Okay, so those are the basics of the items and the loot in Guild Wars 2. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with plenty of other videos. I'm adding quite a lot of content to this beginner's guide at the moment. If there's anything in particular you want me to add to it, then obviously leave a comment, or if you've got any other questions, feel free as well. And like and subscribe to be kept up to date on all of my my most recent content. And thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.